Hi friends, welcome back to Storytime with Miss Ceci. I'm really excited to share this story with you today because it is inspired by the life and lyrics of David Bowie. If you don't know who David Bowie is, maybe you could ask your adult with you. He was a famous musician. He passed away a few years ago. He wrote some amazing music and was really inspiring to a lot of people. This story is in honor of him and in his memory. So I really hope you enjoy this lovely story. It's called Starboy and by Jami, Gigot. Starboy. From a little room in a small brick house on a quiet London street, David stared up at the starry sky. "Is anybody out there?" he whispered. For as long as David could remember, he'd felt like a stranger on his own planet, as if he'd fallen to Earth from outer space. He had mismatched eyes, long spindly legs made from dancing, and sticky out ears with a special knack for catching noises no one else seemed to hear. So special that when he listened closely, David could detect a faint cosmic murmur, a chattering of stars. Look at his two different colored eyes. Cool. When David heard his star chatter, his entire body would vibrate with far out energy. His eyes would flash, his legs would shimmy shake, and all 10 toes would tip tap. As David danced, he felt connected to the universe and the rhythm of the stars. If only he could share this feeling with someone else. At school, David could not sit still. He tip-tapped down the halls and shimmy-shaked in class. Do you ever feel that way? That you want to tip-tap down the halls or shimmy-shake while you're in class or somewhere you're not supposed to? I do all the time. And I usually dance anyways. He added a flash of color wherever he went and let his imagination run wild. But some of the kids didn't feel the same rhythm. They thought David was strange. "What planet are you from?" they asked, laughing. I wish I knew, thought David. He trudged back into class, falling in line with everyone else. That night, alone in his room, David's body began to hum with rhythm again. A spark began to flicker inside him, but he was tired, lonely. So David shut the window and let the spark fade out. He couldn't hear the stars chattering anymore. But something didn't feel right. It was quiet, too quiet. When a hum started, a soft whispering tone, suddenly there was a crackle, a sparkle. The radio on David's windowsill burst to life. Music flooded David's room. It was extraordinary. With the rhythm of the stars, joy tickled him in waves. The star chatter would never leave him. It was a part of him. Look at that beautiful page. "I hear you," he shouted happily. "I hear you." David felt like himself again. The rhythm rolled through David like electricity. He rushed around the house, gathering whatever he could find to keep the music going. An old pot, a pair of spoons, a tin can. He tapped a wooden crate and tied a string to a broomstick and plucked. Yes, that was it. By the light of the moon, he rocked to the beat of the stars. In the morning, he raced to school. He couldn't wait to share his discovery. Look at those beautiful pictures. Even in daylight, David felt the rhythm of the stars humming inside him. He plucked out the chords, blared the horn, and banged to the beat. His eyes flashed, his toes tip-tapped, and his hips shimmy-shaked. Ooh. As the star chatter hummed loudly, his imagination ran wild. He was a pirate, a duke, an astronaut, a goblin king. Commotion and color swirled around him. Rhythms and riffs, like the hearts of stars beating loudly, began to spread. When David opened his eyes, everyone was tip-tapping and shimmy-shaking to the rhythm. The star energy was moving them too. Look at those rainbow colors. David smiled. The spark inside him radiated like a shining star. And that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed that story about David Bowie called Starboy, and I hope it inspires you to always be yourself and do what you love. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for reading with me.